For this question is the nations are Japan and the United States. Both parties signed the contract after agreeing to the terms laid forth for the provider because there will be more imports and export. This demonstrates that there is global trade. 14 group will transmit a contract because there are various exchange rates depending on the nation. This is because they wish to put off making the payment. They can avoid foreign exchange risk as a result.
Assalamualaikum, my name is SYAZWANI binti Muhammad SYUKRI and my matric number is 2020 600 and 966 and I will explain about question 1. In this contract, the type of international trade financing involved is import trade because it is the purchase of goods and services by one country from another country. Next, benefits that importer can get from this contract is ability to get high quality of market products. Besides, United States and Japan are the best exporter of electronic components in the world. And it can combine importers to get the goods from the two countries to get and produce more of high quality products.
Assalamualaikum, my name is AINNA binti AHMAD. I will explain number 2. Briefly explain the forex exposures that might do the 14 group face. How the forward contract benefits to importer and exporter. The forex exposure that 14 group may face are economic exposures. The impact and importance of this type of exposure is much higher than the other two. Economic exposure directly affect the value of a firm. This means that foreign exchange affects the value of the firm. The value of a firm is a function of its operating cash flow and assets. Economic exposure can affect operating asset and cash flow. Identifying and measuring this exposure is a difficult task, while asset exposure can still be measured and can be seen in the books. Operating exposure have links to various factors such as competitive barriers to entry. Each is quite subjective and different expert interpretation may differ. These three types of foreign currency exposure are very important for international financial manager.
Hi, my name is SYAZWANI binti AZLI. My matrix number is 2020460104. I'm going to explain about the calculation of foreign exchange between the United States and Japan. First of all, you need to calculate all the payment terms in the first table for both countries. Then, you have to change it into Ringgit Malaysia based on the exchange rate for currency that given in the second table. The calculation is based on export buying, which means you need to use the lower rate to change the amount into Ringgit Malaysia. As you can see here, I've done the calculation. The amount to be paid for United States is lesser than Japan, which means 14 group should sign the contract with United States.
Then, question 4. How could the chosen supplier, either from the United States or Japan, protect themselves from credit risk from the importer? The answer is they can hedge against foreign exchange risk in order to protect the risk of loss caused on by unforeseeable, unfavorable exchange rate change. A contract or arrangement known as a hedge offers protection against the risk of financial loss brought on by fluctuation in foreign exchange rates. Thus, Safety is obtained by engaging into an arrangement that serves as a counterbalance or offset, so that whatever is lost on one foreign transaction is made up for on the other. Firstly, they can use forward contract. This is the most popular hedging method. According to this contract, a deal is made and the price is determined right away, even if delivery won't happen until a specific time in the future. The amount to be received or the payment to be made will vary if the exchange rate changes in the future. Next, they can use swap. A swap is the immediate exchange of two currencies with the commitment to re-exchange them at a later date. A swap is another strategy to reduce the risk of loss in a foreign exchange transaction. A swap transaction typically involves a spot maturity date against a forward maturity date. Then, another hedge they can use is future market. This market allows for buying or selling of foreign currency for delivery at a later time. Lastly is option. This is used to protect asset and liability from future currency fluctuation. They also can let the contract expire if the spot pricing is not beneficial at the moment.
In a nutshell, the conclusion for this question is, even though learning foreign currency might be challenging, doing so is more crucial than ever in the current global economy. As the globe becomes smaller, there is a greater likelihood that it will be essential to manage the risks associated with the usage of several currencies and their direct impact on the global economy.